Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you do enjoy my video, make sure that you get subscribed to the channel. Also, make sure you click on that bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or I post new videos. And make sure you thumbs up the video too. It really helps out a lot. If you would like to participate in on the discussion, you can join me in on my live streams that I do most weekdays, or outside of my live stream, you can consider joining the Discord that I created. There is a link for that down in the description below. Also, if you are interested in getting some ideas of the meals that we enjoy, we've created a link to a Pinterest board that has some of our family's favorite whole food plant-based meals. Today is I got like a hair in my face. It's driving me nuts. Today is day 558 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food plant-based salt, oil, sugar-free diet to lose over 210 pounds. I'm just over the 18-month mark, which means I'm just past the halfway point of the 3 years. I'm really looking forward to the next 18 months, reaching my goal weight and maintaining this weight for the rest of my life. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your guys' non-scale victories. If you guys are waiting to get started on your diet, what's keeping you from getting started? If you are if you've fallen off track from your diet and you're looking to get back on track, what's keeping you from getting back on track? What hurdles are keeping you from starting your own weight loss challenge, or just getting started with your own weight loss? And what are you doing, or how are you going to make getting on your diet or staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Let's go ahead and switch over to the main screen here. I hope everybody had a great evening last night. I had a wonderful evening. Anthony says he just had a cookie. You just had a cookie, Anthony, because there was cookies around. You can't have them around. But I know how tough it can be to try to eat that way, especially with your family around and them having those things. So just try to make the next decision a better decision than the last decision. Yeah, I had a great evening. It's been pretty cool. I've had quite a few more subscribers to the channel. I was kind of watching or looking at the numbers of Chef AJ's video and keeping track of how many people have seen that video. It's really cool that there's been over 5,000 views of that interview on her channel, which is really cool. That is definitely the most exposure I've had since starting this challenge. And then for my channel itself, I went from being at like right around 500 subscribers to now I'm over 850. So it's been awesome for my channel to, since I've been, did that interview with her. Aunt Day's Kitchen says, you do a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free. And the way you keep it up is, you have a lot of stuff for cooking in your truck. Yeah, that is something that if you're going to be in a position where you're driving around and you have to be in it where you have to eat. I think you might have said yesterday, are you a long haul trucker or 18-wheel trucker? I know somebody said that yesterday, that they drove 18-wheelers. But yeah, you have to make plans. You have to figure it out, because when you're on the road or when you're traveling, it's really tough to find these options that are plant-based, let alone, whole food plant-based and salt, oil, sugar-free. It becomes really difficult. I was on the road last Friday and last Monday. I was driving from, Friday was a ridiculous day. I was on the road from 3 a.m. till 10 p.m. And I had stopped into a few gas stations hoping to maybe find some fruit Didn't have really any luck at any of the gas stations that I stopped at. Monday, I traveled. It wasn't as long a day. I think I was out from 5:30 a.m. to about 5:30 p.m. I was out for about 12 hours. And in the middle of the day, I went to a grocery store because I was like, I need to eat something. I can't keep delaying it, and I don't want to make a bad choice. So I went to a grocery store and picked up 4 or 5 Lara bars and a bag of mandarin oranges. So I had something to snack on or something to eat on the trip. Pretty Girl's mom says that she also had a couple cookies today, but she made them herself, and they were salt, oil, sugar-free, and whole food plant-based. Yeah, you can find some pretty awesome recipes out there that can be whole food plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free. There's a brownie recipe that Carrie has made kind of for celebrations. I had it for my birthday last week that is salt, oil, sugar-free. So there are options out there. Carrie's checking in saying, hello, Carrie. I hope everything's going great today at home. Yeah, you drive the 48 states, and you had the passenger side seat taken out, and you put a 5-foot chest freeze type freezer in there. That's pretty awesome that you have that set up in your truck. So that makes it a little bit easier. You always have to have that truck running, though, I suppose, for that freezer to be going. But yeah, that's awesome. I know that I've seen some pretty cool setups in different trucks, but I can imagine how tough it is to travel like that and stick to that whole food plant-based SOS free. I was having a hard time, and I only had to do it 2 days out of like a year. So I can bet that's very helpful to have that, and you can just grab something out there. Elaine says, hello from South Africa. Watched your interview on Chef AJ today and subscribed immediately. Very inspiring. Thank you so much. Me and my wife have argued about where we would vacation, and I know South Africa was one of the places we thought would be cool to visit. Yeah, that would be really cool. That's awesome that you saw my video and you found me from here. It's really been neat to see a lot of the comments, a lot of the well wishes, and just kind of all the support that I got from being on Chef AJ's show. It really shows how awesome of a community that she has been able to foster since she started doing her live streams and doing her YouTube channel itself. You have a APU because I have also a microwave that air fries and bakes, and you have an 8-quart Instapot, and you have your entire kitchen in a you have my entire kitchen, or our entire kitchen, me and Carrie's entire kitchen, in your truck. Because those are, like, if I was going to tell somebody what appliances that you really should get if you're going to be eating a whole food plant-based diet, the first one, and it wasn't the first one we picked up, but I think a Vitamix is very important to make a lot of these sauces, make a lot of these meals. The thing we had an Instapot. I don't think we have an 8-quart one. I think we have a 6-quart Instapot. But we do have a large Instapot that we've had for years, and that was a lot of times we've eaten meals out of an Instapot for 5 years at this point, and those are really nice. If you don't have a pressure cooker or an Instapot like that, I would highly recommend picking that up. The first appliance that we did pick up, though, when we started the whole food plant-based, was a I think it's made by Breville, but it's they're like, I think it's the 9-in-1 combo. It's a oven, it's an air fryer, it's a dehydrator, it's I don't know, it's a transformer. It turns into a building or something, I don't know. But yeah, so we have a Breville, and then the Vitamix was another appliance that we picked up because it just got to be a lot trying to make these sauces with a regular blender. So having a high-speed blender made a huge difference. And also it's allowed us to make things like almond milk, which we enjoy with our oatmeal in the morning here. Jacqueline says, you're rooting for all of us. Yes, we will overcome this junk food mania. Oh man, I can't stand the world that we live in as far as the marketing goes with food and just how we're exposed to it. Like they outlawed marketing cigarettes to children pretty quickly back in the 90s, I suppose it would have been. But they should have at the same time outlawed marketing cereal to children and marketing candy to children and marketing food to children. It should be all marketed towards the adults. And at that, they spend millions or billions, probably with a B, billions of dollars to advertise and to get you to buy their products over the competitors or the healthy products, which there's no advertising out there for. You don't see ads for apples and oranges on television. You see ads for processed foods and prescription drugs on television. So yeah, we do not live in the world that we evolved from. That is for sure. The Love's Truck Stops always has fruit and fruit cups that they cut fresh almost daily, plus usually oranges, apples, and bananas. Yeah, I will have to check out those Love's Truck Stops. I was just I live in Iowa. I was driving across Iowa, kind of the northern part of the state. So it was a lot of local gas stations and smaller places. We do have a large truck stop near where I live, though. If you've ever been to the I-80 truck stop, that's not too far from where I live. The I-80 truck stop in Iowa, I guess. Let's see. Carrie says, Aunt Amazing. Yes, it's amazing that you have all that stuff in your truck. It's pretty cool. I am not sure what happened with that comment, but I can't see. Somebody's comment got hidden for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it was a mistake. Sometimes Carrie accidentally hits buttons when she's trying to wrestle her phone and our 4 kids and the household at the same time. So if that got deleted, it was probably on accident. But yeah, it was awesome kind of seeing all those numbers go up on my channel. I've not had a big growth like that, ever. I only had 500 subscribers to begin with, so I've added another 350. So I'm getting close to. Carrie says it wasn't her this time, so maybe there was something in the wording or something, Elaine. I'm not sure. But the having that big jump is pretty awesome, and having more people on the live stream is pretty cool too. So if anybody has any questions or has any comments, feel free to share them or ask them. I love talking about this this topic. It says now both Halo commercials are pretty damn funny. Is that Halo brand food? I'm not sure what the Halo commercials are. And then that got retracted as well. I don't know why. Oh, it's because you used the word damn, I bet. I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying it if you're getting retracted on the chat. So yeah, it was pretty cool to see that growth and to have that experience and to meet all of you guys. It's been really cool to have you come over here and check out my channel. Today work was extremely busy, had a big project. You said you were just there the other day. You go through there a lot. Okay. Yeah. That's a big truck stop that, we've been through quite a bit. I run a moving company, and so we don't have any semis. Most of our trucks are under CDL trucks. We're picking up a couple, over CDL air brake trucks here in the next couple months, but we've always run under 26,000 pound trucks. So, but we've run up there. They have a nice truck wash that we've taken our vehicles up there to have them washed in the past. It's been a little while now, but yeah, I remember my dad's always been involved with trucking a little bit as well. He was a manager, or he worked for UPS for 35 years. He retired from UPS, over 20 years ago now, but he worked there for 35 years. It's amazing. And we would go up to the I-80 truck stop, they would every now and then do like a thing where people would bring their trucks and park them and show them off. And it was cool seeing the different setups and the different trailers and things like that. Okay, yours got deleted because you did a bunch of misspelling. Speech to text sometimes sucks. Okay, yeah. No, and you focus on the road if you're driving. Don't get too crazy. I'm sure you got some experience with it. But yeah, that's awesome. Let me see. So work today. Oh my God, it's hot out. This is ridiculous. It all of a sudden summer hit, and I for a lot of you new guys or new people, my office really sucks in the summer. Like, it's been something that has been a frustration for me for 5 years since I've been in this building. And I've had, for 3 years, I had a portable AC unit, kind of a nice indoor unit that's got a vent that would push the hot air out or whatever. And a year and a half ago, we decided to splurge and to buy a mini split system that has an outdoor condenser, and it really awesome AC unit. Worked amazing for like a year, and then it just crapped out on me at the beginning of, was it at some point last year it broke. I feel like, yeah, it must have been like mid last summer or early last summer. This $4,000 mini split system that we got broke. The guy that installed it said the manufacturer wasn't going to do anything to help fix it, and he would cut me a deal in putting a new system in. And I was like, well, I'll go buy another $300 AC unit and go back to that if that's what's going to happen. That I spend $5,000 and I get a year out of this stupid thing. So if there's any issues with the audio, let me know, because I kind of have a fan blowing this direction. Sometimes that can cause issues. But like where I'm sitting right now, it's comfortable. I'm not sweating. But if I walk on to the other side of my computer monitor, the temperature is like 20 degrees hotter on the other side of my monitor. So it's just wild, though, that it feels like we didn't have a spring, but maybe I heard a rumor that next week the temperature is going to go back down. I'm not sure. So the Halo oranges for little kids. Oh, they have an ad. I don't know that I've seen a Halo commercial. But yes, I do eat a lot of Halo oranges. That's for sure. So yeah, that's funny. I'll have to see if I can check that out. Oh, you retracted it yourself because of the misspellings. I see. Yes, it is a little sweaty sometimes. I just as long as I'm sitting at my desk, everything's fine. But as soon as I walk away, it gets real hot in the building, and so it's more difficult there. Blind guy, his wife, and their life says, greetings, everyone. Glad to catch the updates. Thanks for checking it out. I imagine it's his wife again, so thanks for checking out today's video. Let's see. You stayed up late to join my chat. It's getting cold here now, heading into winter. Yeah, down in South Africa, it's kind of the opposite of what is going on here. And then does it get like real cold down there? Like you get snow and stuff? I don't know how far away that is from the equator versus like where we are from the equator. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. Thanks for staying up late to join the chat. I appreciate it. That's really cool. I can't even imagine, what time is it there? Gosh, I bet it's really late there. So thank you for staying up and joining the chat today. That's really cool. It's very mild weather. You're at the coast. Okay, awesome. 11 p.m. Okay, so not terribly late. I stay up till 11 p.m. all the time. I do need to get more sleep. That is something that they talk about a little bit in the Pleasure Trap book, and just in general, is that getting a good amount of sleep is definitely helpful in this whole process. And I get much better sleep now than I used to get, because I don't have to worry about the sleep apnea as much. I don't have the machine, and I always kind of I I wore a CPAP machine that has like a full face mask that would cover my nose and my mouth. And I don't like to have a clean shaved face. So I would have to like strap the machine on, or the mask on really tight so that it wouldn't leak out around the edges because of the hair I had on my face. So my mom would always give me a hard time that she could tell when I was having problems with sleeping, because one, my beard would get longer, so it would get more difficult for me to get that good seal, and then it would just drag on me. And it is a cumulative thing with the sleep. A lot of times you assume that, oh, if I just get one good night's sleep, then I won't be tired anymore. And that's not the case. You need to get a series of days strung together that you're getting good sleep. And we are not the best about that. We always tend to have some sort of show on Netflix or Paramount or one of those streaming networks that we the streaming networks that we want to watch. And so we stay up late watching those and unwind a little bit at the end of the day. But in reality, going to sleep would probably be the ultimate version of unwinding. Aunt Days Kitchen says that the Halo commercials are definitely worth checking out. I will check them out. I'm interested to see that now. Let's see. So I didn't talk about my food yet. I kind of got distracted, but for dinner last night, we ended up having I believe it's the Linda's meatloaf from the Engine 2 cookbook. I did not take a photo of it. It was so good though. Carrie makes this barbecue sauce that she puts on top of it that is awesome, and I really like it. I had a ton of the meatloaf that we made last night. The only photos that I did take were not that exciting, but I will show them anyways because I know some people like to see that kind of stuff. But I ended up having a very large yellow potato here, and then I put some of that barbecue sauce on top of that. If anybody is wondering, that was too much barbecue sauce. I should have probably used about half of that amount of barbecue sauce on that potato, or added another potato or half a potato to what I had. It made it almost too sweet, but it was still pretty good. And so that was kind of the second half of my dinner last night. The first half was the meatloaf that Carrie made. And then this, I didn't get a great photo of it this morning, but this is kind of the savory oatmeal that we like to enjoy. I really like oat groats and steel cut oats over rolled oats. There's just something about the texture of eating the steel cut oats and eating it that I just enjoy. To me, it's much more satisfying than rolled oats. And then we didn't have any fresh spinach, so we used frozen spinach, which was fine. I didn't really notice a difference between the fresh and the frozen spinach. And then there's onions in there as well. I don't know if there's any mushrooms in it this morning. I feel like there was, but I don't see any in the picture. So I'm going to say that there's a good chance there was not mushrooms in our oatmeal this morning. But it was really good. And it has been probably a week or so since I had oatmeal. I traveled those 2 days, so I didn't have any oatmeal those 2 days. I worked Saturday, so I didn't. Saturdays I don't usually have breakfast because it's a little bit earlier day for me than the rest of the week. And then Monday, Tuesday I was trying to bring my weight down so I didn't have a crazy weigh-in yesterday, and I was still up a few pounds. And I was really surprised today that I thought after eating that meatloaf and the potato and having the oatmeal this morning, I think what else did I have? I had a little bit of cashews, not a lot of cashews, but and the only reason I didn't have a lot of cashews is because we only had a little bit left, so I finished the bag. And then I did have like a halo orange or a mandarin orange. I'm not sure what they're called. I always get it confused. And then a couple cups of cherry juice. I love my cherry juice. And that was really what I had for food since I streamed yesterday. But like I said, I was really surprised to get on the scale today. I'm actually lighter now than I was yesterday. I did not think that was going to be the case. Usually I have my lightest weight on Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, or from Thursday to Monday, I'm a little bit heavier, and then I start to bring it back down Monday of the following week. Let's see here. His wife says, good sleep never goes out of style. Yeah, I wish I was better at it. I keep telling myself I'm going to go to bed earlier, and I keep staying up till 11:30, midnight, just depending on the night. Elaine says, do you find it harder to eat well in the winter versus the summer? I wouldn't be surprised if you have that issue. There is so much to our diet and our instincts that I just don't think we understand. We only live on this planet for, 80 to 100 years if you live out, a natural life without any serious complications. And that seems like a long time, and it is a long time. 80 years is a long time. But when you break that down and compare it to the time that our species or the creatures that we evolved from, or however you believe, like, we've been on this planet a long time as humans. And every day that our humans as a whole have gone through a series of different gravitational pulls based on where the sun is, based on where the moon is, and based on the weather, and that all builds up to create these instinctual things and this kind of species specific adaptations. And I believe that I don't understand them by any means, but I believe that the lunar cycle has an effect on our appetite in the way we eat food. I think the seasonal cycles has an effect on the way we approach food and we eat food. In the winter, naturally, I think for one, this is deeper stuff than I expected to talk, but I think we would have chased the sun and ran away from the sun. I think that in the winter, we would have walked toward the thing that was giving us warmth, and so we would have migrated towards the equator. And in the summer, we would have ran away from the thing that was burning us up, and we would have headed away from the equator in the summer. And so I think we would have migrated some, and we don't do that anymore. Now we kind of stay where we're at. And where I'm at, I don't know how many times in really the past 3 months I've said to Carrie, we are not meant to live in Iowa year round. Just kind of, if we didn't have homes and heaters and just all of the access to the comforts that we have now, we would not have lived in this climate. Or if we did live in this climate, it would have been something where we would have been huddled up a lot trying to stay warm, and any opportunity we had to eat, we would have gone after that opportunity. So I could see that the winter causing issues with staying on diet, because in nature, winter would have been a time that you would have eaten absolutely anything that would have given you energy, regardless of how good it tastes. And now we live in an environment, we have access to all of this food at our fingertips without any difficulty of attaining the food. So I think that there is something to be said to probably it would be tougher to stay on diet at the beginning of winter. I also feel like the spring, like the end of winter, I've found, like right now, I've had a lot better luck over the past month of going a couple days without food. I've kind of pushed myself to try to lose weight for my birthday last week, and I really didn't find it difficult to fast for those days. And that I feel like might be something to do with it being the change from winter to spring. At the end of winter, food would have been its scarcest. So we would have had to have fasted, or we would have had to have gone without food. We call it fasting. They would have just called it living without food, because it wouldn't have been around. And now that the spring's kind of hit, that everything's flowering, you're starting to see bugs, and you're starting to see wildlife moving from their kind of holes they've been hiding in for the past few months. So I definitely think that there is something to the seasons. I don't know if I've paid attention for me. I mean, I did fast for 42 days in November of 2020. So I did fast in the middle of winter as well. So, Carrie says that she's excited to get the California balsamic to make the barbecue sauce. Yes. It was really awesome that, because I was a guest on Chef AJ's show, that I am going to get 2 bottles of the California balsamic vinaigrette, I guess it would be. And it's something me and Carrie have talked about a lot over the past couple months, because we ended up ordering the mustard. Is it Prio or Primo mustard that Chef AJ's talked about? The garlic the garlic habanero, or the spicy habanero, and the garlic is the 2 that we got. And so we had been talking about ordering the California balsamic, and it was cool that we're going to get 2 bottles of it. We decided to get the teriyaki and the smoked something. I can't remember. It was something smoked. That we're going to try those 2 flavors. And Carrie's excited about making the barbecue sauce. Let's see. His wife says, I keep experimenting with the meatloaf recipe, and your pictures are appetizing. Yeah, good. I'm glad. I just kind of take quick photos of the food that I eat and share it with you guys to show that I'm not starving myself by any means. And a lot of times I'll just take photos of one of the servings of the food that I eat, but many times for dinner, I'll have a second serving. Last night with that meatloaf, I had 2 or 3 pieces of that meatloaf because it was really good, and I was really hungry when I got home. So I'm even more amazed that I lost weight today after the volume of food that I ate last night. But like I said yesterday, that happens a lot. Like, I'll eat a big volume of food, and then the next day I won't have gained weight. I'll have lost weight, and it's always surprising to me when that happens. The Lynn, is it Lynn's or Linda's meatloaf from the Engine 2 cookbook? Yeah, that's what we really like, that meatloaf that they have in that. You make yummy, Aunt Day says they make yummy soups all winter long. So winters are great for you because you can make soup all summer too. You like soup. Yes. Again, soup is something that is highly touted. I think it's How Not to Diet by Dr. Greger. He talks about the studies they've done with soup, and they have found that if you eat soup as kind of the first course for your dinner, that you will tend to eat less food than if you had a different thing as an appetizer. So soups are good. And it's been a long time. We used to have a miso soup, but we kind of quit eating miso. But yeah, that used to be something that we'd have a lot. The Mega Veggie Chili we have is kind of a soup. And that is really one of my favorite things that we have. His wife says, have you ever seen Chef Jana? No. She has an impressive plethora of vegan recipes. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. Chef Jana. Ann Jones says, what do you do for your salad dressing? So the number 1 salad dressing that we have is a mustard salad dressing that we use maple syrup or dates to sweeten. I think usually it's maple syrup that we use to sweeten it, but it is a mustard dressing that we use a stone mustard. I'm not sure what the name of it is. But that is kind of our go-to salad dressing, is a mustard based one. Really doesn't ever get old for me. I like it a lot. A lot of times we'll use that on potatoes as well. That same dressing I'll use on potatoes. And every now and then, Carrie's made I think an apple based dressing, but it's a mustard dressing. I'm not sure if I would guess it's shared on the Pinterest board, which is down in the smoked hickory. Yes, that's the California balsamic that we bought is the smoked hickory that we're going to try to make the barbecue sauce out of. But yeah, mostly it's a mustard salad dressing that we have almost every time. And like I said, I think that's on the Pinterest board that's been shared there. If you want that recipe, if not, Carrie might chime in and let us know if she's not too busy. Sometimes she has links to those things or knows those things off the top of her head. You had asked another question too. You had asked about the salad dressing, and then you had asked another question yesterday. The meatloaf recipe. Yeah, you had asked about the meatloaf recipe yesterday, Anne. That is the Linda's meatloaf is the one that we use. If I don't know if we've shared that on the Discord, but that would be the only place we would probably find that is on the Discord, because that's out of somebody else's book. I don't necessarily love sharing their recipe, but I'm sure that they're probably just happy if people are eating the food, let's see, what else did I have to talk about? So we talked about the food. Let's see. Today, yeah, just crazy busy at work, and it's only going to get busier. It's just the season is, the season gets to be a lot busier for us. And so I'll still be doing these live streams. I may have to change the time I do these live streams in the next couple months, but right now I'm going to continue doing them at the 4 p.m. Central Time. And the only other thing that I kind of had going on yesterday is I had to do some grass cutting. It was really nice to get out and be in the sun. Carrie actually kind of made a comment last night before bed, because we both have been slipping a little bit on our vitamins. We at one point I was taking the B12 and the vitamin D fairly regularly, and for some reason the last 2 months I just kind of fell off taking the vitamin D and the B12. I'll probably take some of that tonight when I get home. Carrie says that the recipes are on the Pinterest board. So, good memory. Yeah. So yeah, the recipes are on the Pinterest board. If you want to see the recipes, for those things. Did you mean Chef Julia and not Chef Jana? She is awesome. I'm not sure if maybe it was an autocorrect thing, but we'll have to check out their channels or their recipes. We always like getting new ideas for things. There's one of the cookbooks that we picked up that we really liked a lot of the recipes out of is the Plant Powered Families cookbook, and the recipes aren't necessarily salt, oil, sugar free. They might be oil free, but I think they probably have salt in them. And we just kind of change those ingredients out or don't put them in. And really a lot of the stuff that we've had from the Plant Powered Families cookbook, I've really liked. So of the cookbooks that we've had, that would be the one that I like, the most. Yeah. Carrie's working on, my son is going on a camping trip again this weekend, for Boy Scouts. And, I suppose I could talk about that for a second here. Let me, let's see what Aunt Day says here first. The nutrient-rich black bean from Chef AJ's unprocessed is amazing. You've eaten it probably the last 2 days and you have it in your freezer, but you have to make it in a big pot, or you can have it fit in an 8-quart Instapot. Okay. Yeah. I've been thinking about picking up the unprocessed book. I know she just did a new release on that for the 10th anniversary. And I'd be interested in listening. I listen to. I don't read anything. I'm illiterate. But I listen to audiobooks on my way to and from work. So that's a book. And actually, the unprocessed, the one I think I'm going to listen to, because I haven't listened to anything from, or any books from Dr. McDougall. And so I've been leaning towards listening to The Secret to Ultimate Weight Loss. That is probably going to be the next book I listen to. I just haven't taken the time to pick it up. I hope it's on audiobook. I haven't even looked to see if it is on audiobook. I hope it's on audiobook. But yeah, and so back to the planning for the camping trip. So we ended up, so my son's in Boy Scouts and they do a lot of camping. I think they might try to do like a camping trip once every month through the summer or something. It's a lot of camping. It's a lot of stuff, which is cool. I'm glad that he's involved with it. He's learning a lot of things and he's getting exposed to nature in a way that he wouldn't normally, because if he had a choice, he would be sitting in front of his computer playing video games or playing on our VR headset with his friends. So it's nice that they get out into the wilderness. But he was planning on, so he did a camping trip a couple weeks ago that was called the Survival Camp Out. And one of the parts of the Survival Camp Out was that they had to bring all of their own stuff. They had to bring their own food and their own cooking utensils if they were going to need to cook. And they weren't allowed to bring a tent, but they were allowed to bring tarps and stuff. So they had to make their own shelter. And so they were really only responsible for their own food. And then this camp out is not a survival camp out. It's actually a climbing one. He's going to be doing some like rock climbing or climbing up a rock wall, or I think anyways, a climbing wall. And we had messaged the Scoutmaster last week because we were just a little concerned that Danny would have vegan options for the camp out. And they said, yeah, that's fine. You know, we'll work on something. We'll get some vegan options together, or we'll get some options for food together. And we're going to be talking about it at the Monday night pack meeting. And then Monday night came around. We had some things come up and we ended up having to miss the pack meeting. And during that meeting, they did talk about the food and they came up with some ideas. It sucked that we had to miss the meeting. But what really sucked about missing the meeting is that we ended up getting voted or assigned as the people that have to plan or have to pick up all the meals for everybody and kind of deal with the food for everybody. It's only 7 people, which is fine. But I thought it was funny that we ended up having to take care of the food anyways, which kind of puts us in a weird spot because I'm not a huge fan of buying any animal products right now. And so they want us to buy all this food. We're going to get reimbursed. So it's not like I'm paying for the money out of my own pocket, but we actually have to go and pick up the food. But they did give us a list of kind of the things that they were talking about buying, and everything on their list was vegan stuff. Like they were like okay with having the vegan substitutes for chicken or the vegan substitutes for these things. So I'm not sure what Carrie will end up picking up, but I thought it was pretty funny that they put the vegans in charge of buying the food for the whole group. I don't think that I would have voted that way if I was making the decision. Like, wait, you want the person that eats that stuff to be picking out our food? That's crazy. So anyways, we got roped into having to buy or pick up all the food. Like I said, thankfully it's only 5 kids and 2 adults. It's really just like one day worth of eating. And in reality, a lot of the food that people eat day to day is actually vegan food. You know, there's a lot of fruits and vegetables that people eat all the time. You know, French fries are vegan at their core. It's, if you get them from McDonald's, they're not, but if they're cooked in vegetable oil, they are. And so we could we're gonna end up having to pick up some food for that camp out this weekend. Pretty Girl's mom says that they also love the black bean soup from Chef AJ's, and her non-whole food plant-based friends love it as well. His wife says Chef Jana for sure, but I am searching for Chef Julia. So there's lots of chefs out there. And the other YouTube channel I like is the Plant-Based Dads. You've used many of their recipes. Yeah. And that's really something that is awesome about YouTube and about social media and the internet in general, is that there's such great access to all of these meals and recipes and different programs that they didn't exist 10 years ago. They definitely didn't exist 20 years ago. And so having multiple chefs out there doing recipes, having, if there's any food that you like, if you're like, man, I really wish I could have lasagna again, you can just get on and type in vegan lasagna or plant-based lasagna or SOS free lasagna, and you're going to get results for those searches. And those people have tried those things, and you might not pick a winner every time, but you might at least get a base where you can be like, well, that was pretty good, but I, think that it would have just been a little bit better if it had some mushrooms in it, or if it had another ingredient, something different in it, to make it a little bit better. Carrie says you are getting one thing of non-vegan lunch meat, and then everything else is going to be vegan. So yes, that's going to be, Ann says that it looks like your scout friends may be looking for transformation themselves and hoping that you can get them started. Yeah. I mean, if it, I always thought veganism was a weird thing, before I started this, and I didn't think that it was easy to do. And it's, in some ways, it's still not easy to do, but it is so much easier to do than I thought it was going to be. And, and eating a vegan diet's becoming much more popular, and there's a lot of great alternatives out there. There's a lot of great options for people that are trying to eat less animal products out there. So, they're going to get a little bit of a plant-based weekend, and maybe they will notice that they have increased energy and they feel better, because those animal products are rough. I mean, our son, who's going on the camp out, he has had lactose intolerance his whole life, which is really crazy because he loved milk as a kid. Like, until he went to school, he drank lots of milk, and then he went to school, and the milk, we always knew that the milk had given him some digestive issues because he got a little farty after he had some milk. And so when he started going to school, that having that gas became an issue, and he didn't want to have gas at school. So he quit drinking milk, and then we ended up having to actually go to a doctor and getting it, actually getting him diagnosed with lactose intolerance. So then he could opt out of having milk at the school lunch, which is crazy too. That's a whole nother thing, that the milk and dairy industry, how they have it set up that everybody gets milk at school and it doesn't cost the school any money for milk. And I don't know all the details, but from what I understand, at least in the US here, if you schools just get milk provided to them, they don't have to buy the milk, and so they don't have any incentive to be what's the word I'm looking for, like mindful of the waste of the milk. Like, everybody got milk. And I mean, I remember when I was in elementary school, every day we walked through the line and they would punch our ticket for our hot lunch, and we get our meal, and we get a thing of milk or chocolate milk on our tray with our meal. And it'd be amazing the difference that it would make if instead of a little container of milk, is if they had an option for a little container of water. Like, it wasn't even an option for me to drink water with my lunches in elementary school growing up. And that seems wrong. It seems really wrong now, but it definitely seems like it shouldn't be that way. Let's see. I did talk a little bit about cutting the grass. I was going to talk about I talked about the vitamins and being outside. I feel like I got some good vitamin D yesterday being in the sun, and I will be out doing some more grass cutting this weekend. I have to cut the grass at my building at work. I got more grass cutting to do at home. So I will be out a lot this weekend. Hopefully the weather isn't oppressively hot, but I will survive it. I want to thank everybody again for checking out today's video and following along with my weight loss. I didn't even really talk a whole lot about staying on track, even though that was the title of my video today. But stay on track, keep focused. The best way to stay on track, we talked about it a little bit with the Aunt Day's Kitchen, is make staying on your diet easier than the alternative. Have lots of good food options around you so that when you do get hungry or you do get in a position where you feel like you need to eat, that the easiest solution is one that is still compliant and is on your diet. So that would be my advice for staying on track, is just make staying on your diet easier than the alternative. Anna says that it's mind-blowing about the milk at your son's school. Yeah, I mean, and that's I think we had to actually tell him not to give him milk. If you guys haven't started your diet yet, get started right now. There's no reason to wait. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health and your well-being. Nobody ever gets to their goal, looks back and says, man, I wish I would have waited that weekend. If I would have just celebrated that birthday and had that piece of cake, it would have been so nice. But instead, I decided to start my diet and get to a much healthier, better me. Nobody ever regrets getting started. Everybody always says that they wish they would have started sooner. Also, don't fall for the two myths of moderation: the myth of moderate change, the idea that you can slowly change to a healthy diet. That if I just start eating a salad before my meals, eventually I will just start eating a completely healthy diet and I'll quit eating all this junk food that I continuing to hold on to. If your ultimate goal is to convert to a completely different diet, a lot of times by doing it slowly, you end up having setbacks or failing to get to that point before you even make it there. So don't fall for the myth of moderate change. Also, the myth of moderate consumption, the idea that a little bit of something is still okay, the idea that you can split your portion in half and only eat half as much food and still be healthy and still be satisfied. Those are myths. You need to make big changes. You need to change the density of the food that you're eating. Eat high nutrient content, low calorie content foods, and eat a large volume of foods, because that's what we're designed to do. We're designed to eat 3 to 5 pounds of food a day. And when you're eating an average of 1,000 calories per pound, you're going to gain weight. You need to get it down closer to the 500, 600 calories per pound. So thanks again. They have to bring their own water bottle. Like they do bring their own water bottle, but yeah, they have to fill up their water bottles at the fountain. So thanks again, everybody, for checking out my video. If you haven't subscribed yet, get subscribed. I just hit 500 and I'm on my way to 1,000 really quick. So I'd love to hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. And make sure you like this video and do all those YouTube things. And I will be back on tomorrow afternoon. Elaine, thanks for checking out the video too. Everybody, thanks for checking out the video. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow.